Verse 9. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted.
Here's the next thing. Those that belong to Christ as teaching truth, understand that you will be delivered up. Read.
And shall kill you.
And people will be martyred in this time for truth. That will happen. We must prepare ourselves to understand that death is part of this work. Read.
And ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake.
And those that are with Christ, you will be hated. People are not going to love you. They're going to hate you. Read.
Verse 10. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another.
That's the time we're in now. People who were just friends with you, now they're betraying you, giving you up and saying all types of nasty things about you. People that you thought was your friends. We're in that time now. Read.
And shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. Verse 21.
Go ahead.
For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time.
Go ahead.
No, nor ever shall be.
So all this will lead up to a great tribulation in which God's people are being oppressed. Hence, FEMA coffins, FEMA, orchestrated military against the people, war on terrorism. This is aimed towards a heightened tribulation in the earth, aimed towards God's people that are following Christ. Now, this is not aimed towards Christians. They could care less about Christians, because Christians really don't need to read the Bible to believe. They don't have to believe the Bible. They look at the Bible and totally discount the Bible based on their doctrine. So they're not worried about Christians. They're worried about those in Christ with the knowledge and understanding of the Bible, that keep the commandments and the testimony of Christ. That's the weapon against the New World Order. Crisis. Those that belong to Christ, that follow his commandments, that use the name of the Most High, that invoke the Most High and Christ, that teach the truth of the Most High and Christ. That's who they fear, because when our back's against the wall, Pharaoh can be on one side with his army, and the Red Sea can be on the other side. But our Father will deliver us. That's who they fear. So we're not afraid of this tribulation. Christ said these things will come. We will operate within this tribulation. We will be converting people and baptizing people within this tribulation. Because they cannot touch any of the elect that the Most High. If the Most High don't allow them to touch us, they cannot touch us. Period. Read.
Verse 22. And except those days should be short.
So Satan got less time than he thought he had. He had less time. Read.
There should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened.
For Israel's sake, the Most High is going to shorten the European power's time. He's going to shorten Satan's time and rule. So he had less time than he thought. Read.
Verse 23. Then if any man shall say unto you, Lo, here is Christ, or there, believe it not. Verse 26.
26th verse, read.
Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, Behold, he is in the desert, go not forth.
So if they try to make some fake blue beam prophecy to say that Christ is coming, and you notice in the media, in the mainstream media now, they're pushing the possibility or the thought of alien life form connecting with what you would call international leaders or diplomats and presidents. They're opening the channels so that people can believe in alien beings or something coming out of the sky. They're actually prepping people for something. So Christ says, listen, no matter what they're prepared, don't listen to none of this stuff. So when people ask me about Project Bluebeam, when people ask about these different things, I'm like, who cares? We just have to get the number of our people that's going to be saved in that wilderness. We just have to teach the truth of Christ and get as many people into the safe haven so that we can be protected with the Most High and receive that power when it's time. That's our focus. We don't care what they're planning, because the majority, all they're planning is for straight deception and to keep the people still. Read.
Verse 26. Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, Behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chambers, believe it not. For as the lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the west, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be.
So Christ is coming from the east. And when he come, every eye shall see. He will be the only light coming out of the heavens. On top of that, at this time, Babylon the Great, at this time when Christ returned, would have already been judged through war. Right now, America is totally expendable to the powers. The European powers have used America for what it needed America for. And now America is expendable, and the European powers are separating themselves from America as we speak. They have blamed everything on America. So just like Revelation 17 says, eventually the 10 horns will come together and burn the whore. Okay? They're going to link in with these other powers on the other side of the Atlantic. They don't have no allegiance with America. Their allegiance is with Satan. And as long as America upheld Europe, it was fine. But now the European powers do not need America. Don't forget, America don't own banks. The bank that funded America came from the Bank of England. England owns America. It's a corporation. America is expendable, and God's people have woken up there. They can't be used like they were used 20 years ago, 50 years ago, 100 years ago. You cannot be used to build the New World Order. You are expendable. And Judah is waking up. The Most High is waking up Judah every moment in America, every minute, and they can't control it. So they want to put a lid on it. Soon, the European powers will separate themselves from America, and they're going to allow these wars to go forth. And America will use those FEMA coffins. America will use the nuclear missile again. America will use high, what you would call euthanization programs to destroy people there. All this is going to happen. This is the heightened tribulation that Christ is speaking about.
Verse 28.
Go ahead.
For wheresoever the carcass is, there will the eagles be gathered together.
So wherever the carcasses is, the eagles are gathered together. And the carcasses are being gathered in the Valley of Jehoshaphat, which is the Middle East. The Most High is preparing all these armies that come right in the Middle East to be used for food, bird food. So all you brothers and sisters that are looking to join the armed forces, it's no time to be joining the armed forces as of now. Read.
Verse 29. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven.
Go ahead.
And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn.
Then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn. All the families and tribes of the earth will mourn. Why? Because these families are really not looking for the second coming of Christ. They're in their kingdom. They don't want Christ to come back. They're going to mourn when Christ hits the atmosphere. Because Christ is coming back for his people. To raise his people. The people in which all the nations have their foot on their neck. Read.
And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn. And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory.
With power and with great glory. Christ is coming back with full power.